So let's finish the Unit 1 activity here. So this is right below where we stopped earlier today. So the circular flow of economic activity, it works like this. There's households over here, meaning you, households. This is kind of people. Then over here we have firms, meaning businesses. Businesses. And here's how this works. People give money to these businesses. They give money. And in exchange, these businesses give the people goods and services. So I head into the Chevron, goods, with some cash, and they will give me a cup of coffee, or a snack, or a map, or some motor oil. I give them money, they give me goods and services. If I walk into a car dealer with a lot of money, they'll give me a car. And this is what's called the product market. This is the product market. And we engage in this all the time. Anytime you've ever bought something from the store, you were part of the product market. Now, here's the thing. These firms and businesses take this money and they give it to the households. They will take money and give it to households. In return, what happens is households, we regular people, we give them our labor. So we give labor. If you own land, you can give them land. You can give them capital. Okay, so, and in return, we get wages, we get rent, things like that. This is the factor market. Factor, C-T-O-R, market. And you can kind of see the important bit here is they're interdependent. If lots of people are giving money to the firms for their products, they have lots of money to pay the people. And if the people have lots of money, they can buy more products, and so on. So these two things are interdependent. They depend on each other. So I think that's all you need for that. Just knowing how that works, right? There's two sides to this. And you're part of both on a regular basis. Okay, you give money to a store, and that store gives you stuff. That store then takes that money, and they will pay you wages if you work there. So that's that. So profit and loss. Let's do these real quick. So profit, this is just a simple math formula, and this is if income is greater than costs, or sorry, not income, revenue we're talking about. Hold on, let's make this correct. If revenue, the amount of money coming in, so your revenue is that money that's in your cash register at the end of the day, right? If you are charging, let's say you're making just donuts, you're selling donuts. I'm kind of hungry right now. So if you're selling donuts all day, all night, and you have, $500 in the cash register at the end of the day, and then you got to sit down and pay your bills. You got to pay all your workers. You got to pay your rent. You got to pay for the electricity, pay for the donut juice, donut makings, donut flavorings and toppings. If you have money left over, meaning your revenue was greater than your costs, then profit. Hooray. And you can go out and buy stuff. Like more donut makings, or you can take the kids to Disneyland, get a new car, pay the rent on your house, so you can take that profit and do stuff with it. Loss, and this is just the opposite, if revenue, that money that's in the cash register, is less than your costs, meaning you've made $500 selling donuts, but your costs, your rent, plus paying your workers, plus your insurance, plus your, all the bills you have to pay, If it's less than that, if it's more than $500, if costs are greater than revenue, then you have a loss. And you can do one of two things. You can either say to yourself, you know what, things will be better tomorrow. I'll be all right. I can handle this loss. Or the other thing is, this business, I need to get out of this business and do something else. So we're going to get to that next unit. All right, and then the last bit down here at the bottom. The role of the government is to supply public goods. So public goods are things so these are goods that everyone shares them. And no one can be excluded. No one can be excluded. So, for example, the United States Army is out there providing national defense. They are protecting us from enemies from around the world. And this is one of those things we all get. Everyone shares, with an S there. And no one can be excluded because the United States Army can't say, we're going to protect every American except for Jennifer. Okay, that's not a thing. That can't happen. There's no good way to exclude everybody, and we all benefit from it. So that's a good one. Another good one is, another good example is streetlights. Right? You go walking around at night and there are these lights on. It's kind of nice. You get the benefit. You can see. You're not tripping over things. Maybe in a bad neighborhood, they're sort of helpful because you can see somebody coming. Are this bad person going to rob me? Do I need to get ready? Do I need to run? So streetlights, super helpful. So here's the thing. What if you don't pay your taxes? Do you still get to use the streetlights? Do they shut off when you walk underneath them? No, because you can't be excluded. They're just on. So whoever's walking by gets to use that streetlight. Private goods, though, are different. These are not shared. And they are excludable, meaning not everyone gets to have them. Gets to have them. You can exclude people from getting them, and it's usually because they can't pay. So think of like a slice of pizza. So a slice of pizza, I'm not sharing this, right? It's mine, and it's only mine. It is not shared. And I had to pay for it. So you don't get a slice of pizza because I paid money. And if you don't pay money, then you don't get no slice of pizza. Another good example of this is like a haircut, right? My haircut is not shared with anybody else. I mean, you have to look at me once in a while, but that's it. And I only got the haircut because I could pay for it. If I just showed up and said, hey, give me a haircut, lady, haircutting lady, they would kick me out because I need to give them money. So you can be excluded. Good. So positive externalities and negative externalities is the last thing here. This is a positive externality is when a transaction happens between two people. Transaction occurs or happens between two people, two parties. I'll put people. And a third person gets some kind of benefit from it. And others can benefit. So for example, right now a transaction is occurring between you and me, right? I am giving out some information, you are writing it down and learning something, and you are getting an education. Future you will then go and get a job, and your boss will be pleasantly surprised that, oh, you know a little bit about economics. You can read and write. You are pretty smart, I will hire you, and your education will benefit your boss's business. Also, maybe let's say I just clean up my house. I clean up the outside of the house, I paint it, I plant new bushes, I plant a lawn so it looks all pretty, I have some lighting that makes it look cool at night. So here's the thing, I've made my house look better, but I've also made the neighborhood look better. So all my neighbors kind of benefit from it because maybe their price of their homes go up because somebody comes to the neighborhood to buy a house and goes, oh, look at that house, that's beautiful. This is a good neighborhood. I'll pay extra money. So that is a transaction that occurs between me and Home Depot, and everybody else in the neighborhood gets to benefit because I got a nice looking house. Negative externality is this exact same thing, except the third party, others, have to pay a cost, have an extra cost. So for example, I go out and I buy some delicious, delicious cigarettes, and I'm smoking up a storm in the restaurant. Everyone around me has to pay a cost. Everybody's food now tastes like cigarettes. The waitresses, if enough people are in there smoking every day, are all going to get lung cancer. So these extra costs, this is a negative externality. Same thing, if I let my house just sort of fall apart. Hey, that's my business, man. I can let my house fall apart. But here's the problem. The rest of the neighborhood pays a cost. They have to look at your ugly house. And it's possible that people are going to come in and maybe want to buy houses and go, ooh, this is a bad neighborhood. Look at that gross house. And everybody's homes in the neighborhood drop because of you. So there are transactions that can happen that have an effect on other people. And this is usually where the government steps in and says, hey, you can't paint your house this ugly orange color and make everybody's house look terrible. Homeowners associations will come in and do that. The police will come and arrest me if I smoke inside of a restaurant. It's not legal in California or in I think anywhere in the United States now. Pollution is another one. If I decide to pollute, just want to dump my garbage in the river, right? That's just between me and my river, but it's the people downstream that have to pay this extra cost, and that's trouble. All right, so that's that.